Okay. So thank you. This is India Lee, intuitive reader and coach, and we have Susan Reynolds, karmic astrologer, and we are diving into the energies of May/June 2025, Gemini season. And so much is happening at the beginning of this season, right? So just
Yeah.
yeah. So what are we kicking it off with?
Well, June is going to be a busy month. First of all, just a few days before June, on May 26th, and Inti and I talked about this last month, Saturn moved into Aries and is sitting right next to Neptune. Now, I love Neptune because it's a planet of spiritual development, higher awareness, our dreams, but it's also a planet of confusion, illusion, fog, self sabotage. You know, this is what we do it to ourselves. We decide that trying LSD for the first time is a good idea right before we're supposed to graduate the next day, or we do things that can often act against our best interests, and that can happen especially in terms of work, because Saturn is a planet about our professional life. So this is where we go out to some business function and get the day wrong, or show up in jeans, or decide to tell our boss what we really think about them. So it can be wonderful because we can incorporate higher guidance into where we're supposed to be. Neptune is creative and spiritual. So we may see people tired of just doing something that makes more money for somebody else. They want to live their dreams. They want to move in to some sort of combination of working what they want. As we move into June, remember I said last month, if you watch India every month, you know that last month I said pay attention May, June, July, like boom, boom, boom. Because in May, on May 26th, we have Saturn moving into Aries. Now, on June 10th, some people would say the 9th. It depends on what ephemeris you're using to track it. But right around there, Jupiter's going to move into Cancer. Then in July, Uranus is going to move into Gemini. So it's like boom, 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 change, change, change. And so for these, since this is June, I'll say next 60 days, but many of you have already been feeling this, we may be a little off center. We may feel a little stressed. We may feel a little confused. We may feel like, wait a minute, life is moving a little too fast. I don't like this. And that's perfectly normal. There's a lot going on in June. And the big news, as I know India knows, because she's studied astrology, we've talked about astrology many times together. The big news for June is that Jupiter is moving into Cancer. And this is good news for Cancers because last year, Jupiter was in Gemini. Jupiter will stay in the sun about a year. So last year it was in Gemini. It's changing in June of 2025 into Cancer. And officially it will move out in June of 26. So about a year. Last year, when when Jupiter was in Gemini, Cancers were not that happy because Jupiter was in their 12th house. And for those of you who know astrology, know that the 12th house is one of retreat. It's one of rest or renewal. But most of us have busy lives and we can't take a nap or stay home from work because we want to rest. We have carpools, we have assignments, we have projects that need to be done, we have responsibilities. So Cancer's kind of been struggling for all of last year, but they're going to start feeling a little bit better because this year it comes out from the curtain, behind the curtain of Gemini and the 12th, and it moves into the first. So for all of us, not all of us just in the United States, but all of us all over the world, we are going to be feeling this Jupiter in Cancer. And I like it. I'm excited about this. I think this is going to come out in a lot of positive ways, but it's also going to come out in ways that we need to be aware of. I've been thinking about doing a little talk about this, about Jupiter and Cancer kind of thing. I'm not sure if I will or not, but here's where you guys get to hear it first. Because Cancer is a sign that rules food. It rules restaurants, our eating patterns, making dinner, you know. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Whatever it touches, it makes it bigger, better, more. So when you put a planet of expansion against a sign that is all about food, I hate to say this, but we are going to see grocery prices skyrocket more than they have now. India, I know you're in the state of Georgia, so I don't know what's going on in Georgia, but North Carolina, we're seeing grocery prices go up. And I'm going to tell you, this is May. You know, this Jupiter shift isn't even officially here yet. So for June, July, August, we're going to see grocery prices skyrocketing. I mean, prices of things doubling, you know, overnight. Like, wait a minute, this was, you know, $5 yesterday. Now it's 10.
Mm.
So I tend to think that Americans are not going to take that well. We are a cancer country. We like our food. We are even obsessed with food. Think of all the cooking and competition shows and recipe shows that are on television. We don't like anybody messing with our grocery stores and our food consumption. So we may see demonstrations about the prices of food. We may see news stories about this or that going up, about why is chocolate so high and why is this or that going up. Now, if you listened to my January predictions talk that I do, I said, watch for grocery prices to go up. I said, every time you go to the grocery store, throw in something extra that is a big ticket item. So since January, I've been throwing in extra toilet paper, extra laundry detergent. For other people, maybe throwing in extra coffee or anything else that is, you know, kind of a big ticket item. You know, I happen to have a Coca-Cola problem. I love Coca-Cola, and it is expensive. So if you're like me and have a certain soft drink that you particularly like, throw in a little extras. But I definitely see a lot of agitation coming up. I don't
Yeah.
think June is going to be a quiet month. I don't think July and August are going to be quiet months. Is that what you're getting, India? The same thing?
Yeah, yeah. And side note, we talk a lot about abundance and manifesting. Have you ever considered that Coca-Cola should probably sponsor you because you are the Coca-Cola psychic? I mean, you are. You're the you're the Coca-Cola astrologer.
It's a good way to refer
That
to the
might be a way to
Coca-Cola
scare,
psychic.
just don't rule it out. Okay, so 'cause they're gonna look online and say, wow, she talks about us all the time. We need to just really take her on as a
I let people know that I love Coca-Cola because I'm in the mind, body, spirit community.
yeah.
And a lot of people are vegan or vegetarian. There's a lot of
Mhm.
emphasis on healthy eating, and I don't smoke, I don't drink much. I exercise, I do a lot of very healthy things. But I
Yeah,
don't want to be a hypocrite. I want people
right.
to know I struggle too.
That's
And the one
right.
thing I struggle with is Coca-Cola.
But I think you should turn it into your source of abundance. I love it. Well, one thing I'm getting for the month is that this is going to be a very clarifying month. They're giving me three P's: play, peace, and possibilities. And they're all in alignment with your star path, a fourth P. So, your star path in the tarot, the star talks about being focused on your highest, most guided path, the one that is most in alignment with your purpose, another P, and with everything you're here to do, your mission, everything you need to learn, all your challenges. And I'm getting that in June we're not going to be focusing as much on, or we're going to be guided not to focus as much on the pain or the past or all these P's. That's crazy. And we're gonna be, look at that. And I got the card that says surrender to prayer. Okay, so it's like 10 P's. So really focus in. It could be for somebody listening that actual letter P is going to be a sign for you whenever you see P. So it's a reminder, like go to that place where you are focusing on that clarity. You are letting that playful side of you lead the way because that is the part of you that is in touch, most in touch with your purest sense. And we are really allowing ourselves to navigate in June as if we're children, from this place of I'm letting everything be fresh. So you may want to sort of practice this I like doing this meditation technique of, what if I had just landed on the planet? Or what if I got amnesia? What if I suddenly didn't remember everything that had come before? Because when you tap into that, you really can sort of step out of, at least momentarily, all the stuff your mind wants to focus on. It's what we do when we go on vacation. So that might be why it's coming up for June. A lot of people traveling, it might help you to get more in touch with that pure sense of your path and passion and purpose. And I can only use P words now. I'm just, I
I couldn't even think up that many. Somebody asked me,
don't know
and
what
yet they're
Spirit was
just
doing.
flowing.
I've never had that happen with Spirit, but Spirit's just like giving me endless P words. Yes. So yeah, and really lean into that because you're right, Susan. There'll be a lot of things that will kind of invite us to, it'll be like negativity bait. There will be things where it's like, okay, if you want to be negative, you're going to have some things that you can focus on, but you're going to choose to use a lot of discernment with where you're spending your thought energy. And hopefully hearing these messages from Susan will help you to go, oh yeah, I knew that was going to happen, and kind of move on to the stuff that you do want to focus on and magnify in your life. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because Cancer, it's a water sign, and all the water signs are emotional. So from June of 2025 through the end of the year, even some into next year, we are all going to be more emotional, bit more emotional, bit more sensitive. Cancer gets their feelings hurt so easily. Oh, you sent me an invitation, but I got my invitation later than anybody else. Are you mad at me? Do we have a problem? Is something going on? We're just oversensitive to everything. So kind of give the other person some slack. They didn't mean to greet you last. They didn't mean to send your invitation last. I've had more clients asking me like, "Are we okay?" Or "Yeah," or "Was this all right that I changed my appointment?" Or "Are you mad at me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not mad at you. This happens." But we're all going to be feeling that. So you
Mhm.
may be expressing that yourself, but you may have other people coming to you and saying this, and you're like, "Am I putting out a vibe?" No, Jupiter in Cancer is putting out a vibe. It's emotional. We
Yeah.
start to think about things in emotional terms. We start to think about family more. Think about this because Jupiter's expansion, Cancer is family. This is a very fertile energy. Now, for those of you who may be struggling with fertility, this is a nice plus. This is a wonderful energy. There may be new fertility treatments or options that are announced or science has been working on. So, this is a wonderful time for increasing your family or anything to do with fertility. Now, if you are a teenager and not planning to start your family, this is not the time. I don't care how romantic that moment is.
Right.
No is what needs to be coming out of your mouth because it is easier to get pregnant when Jupiter is in Cancer than almost at any other time.
Wow.
So you want to just decide if you're through with your family planning or not. I read, I don't know if this is real or not. I heard on the news a few weeks ago that Trump was saying something about offering women $5,000 to get pregnant or to have a baby. And I'm like, huh? Boy, there should be some sort of population explosion with checks like that coming out. So I don't know if anybody else heard that, but I thought I couldn't have heard that right. But something like that would absolutely be in keeping with Jupiter and Cancer.
Hmm.
We may have special celebrations in the family, parents' 50th wedding anniversary, special birthdays, special events, christenings, all the rest of it. There's going to be things about celebrating the family. Your family may need you more right now. Maybe mom or dad has a fall and you take a few weeks to go out and help out. We may take a family vacation. Jupiter loves to travel, Cancer loves to stay home. So there's a bit of a conflict there. We may say, well, I
Mhm.
want to travel, but there's so much going on right now with immigration and this real ID, and I'm not sure what to do because both of these are going like this. We want to
Yeah.
go, we want to stay home. So
Yeah.
Go if you want to go and feel drawn to that. Stay home if you feel like you want to do that. It's not that one is right or wrong. It's just that they have different goals. And
Mhm.
humanity, is caught in the middle a little bit when it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm also getting such a strong message about purification and detoxification um, for June. And many of us go by the ocean or by water and lay in the sun. And those are wonderful times and places and ways to work with nature to detoxify your energy, your mind, your body, and your emotions, and to really picture yourself like a sponge and squeeze out anything that you might be holding in any of those four bodies: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, that is just, holding you back. Um, because I do see so many new doors opening in the second half of the year for all of us. And I know that's in keeping, Susan, with what you've talked about with the energies being so different in the second part of the year.
absolutely, absolutely. Because remember, we've got change that May, June, July.
Yeah.
So by July, we've got lots of new energies that we will then be experiencing most of the rest of 2025.
Yeah.
You
So you
know,
want to
Cancer,
squeeze out that old stuff so you can move into the new.
absolutely. Because
Mhm.
Cancer is not only about our family or those you consider to be family, because I've got friends that they're my family, but it's also our home, our physical home, our abode, the structure. So we may decide we need a new roof, or we may want to redecorate, or we're going to remodel the kitchen, or we're going to do something to our home. We may decide to sell our home, buy a home. Now, this is funny because almost always what I am picking up intuitively and psychically is absolutely meshing with what I see astrologically. But
Mhm.
occasionally it doesn't happen that way.
Mhm.
And this is one of the times it's not happening that way.
Mhm.
Jupiter expands, it increases. Saturn, Cancer's looking at the home. So when you look at that logically, home prices should be going up. But intuitively, it feels like they're coming down. So I'm in a bit of a conundrum. Now, sometimes Jupiter, Jupiter's like a big ball of energy and it just whoosh brings that ball of energy. So sometimes it can bring something to the surface that has been hiding below. And I think we may see some things about home prices being manipulated or interest rates being manipulated or something going on. And I'm thinking of 2008 where the housing market crashed. Now I do not see that happening. Don't get your bunker ready. I do not see that happening. But I do see some things coming up that will make the news about home prices because the average person graduating college and getting a good job nowadays cannot afford to buy a home. They've done everything right. They're paying their bills. They worked hard. They've got a nice job. They just out of college and making, let's say, 75,000 a year. They're not going to qualify you for a home. Yeah. And I think there's something wrong with that. I think our country, you should be able to buy a home.
Mhm.
And we're going to start to see that issue come up. And so we're going to see a lot of things about prices of homes and how this happened and what's going on. And I think the end result is that we're going to see home prices start to drop a little bit, like maybe 20% or something. I don't think it's going to be like 2008 and you're vacationing in Disney one day and living under a bridge the next day. I don't see that. But I do see.
Yeah, because Jupiter's energy of luck and good fortune is coming to the Cancer energy of home. So yeah, that's a nice combo. It's like Jupiter's giving a little luck dust onto the home market, perhaps. So that'll be nice. Yeah.
Well, I would say watch what's, hang on a minute. I'm going to turn the air up a little bit here. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to say, so watch what's going on
Mhm.
because I definitely see some things going on in the housing market.
Mhm.
Um, so get your home appraised right now if you're thinking about selling. Keep your eye out there. I think we're going to see some shifts between June and probably like maybe November. We're going to see some changes and you can make better decisions. But I
Mhm.
like this energy.
Yeah.
All the water signs are going to get a nice break. Cancer, and Scorpio and Pisces. This Jupiterian energy is going to come in and it's going to say, "Hi, nice to meet you. Let me shake hands. I'm your best friend now." So they're going to like this. So you may see water sign people that you know taking on new tasks, learning new things, being a little bit more energetic and happy and out there. Now, Capricorn is a sign opposite Cancer. And if you read my daily Facebook posts, I'll always say, well, this is what the moon is doing today. These are the signs that are going to like it. And this is a sign that's opposite, so they might not like it too much. So Capricorn may not be quite as happy about this, but I got to tell you, I just like Jupiter energy. And it's the one planet where I don't even think a difficult aspect is that bad. I think it just pushes you and motivates you. So even though it's in a little harsher aspect with Capricorn, I think Capricorn may be thinking about making their life bigger in some way this year. Maybe they get a second job, maybe they get married, maybe they have a baby, maybe they start their own business, maybe they retire. It's like they're ready to do something, to make changes they've been thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Capricorn's an earth sign and they're very grounded. They're not impulsive and they like to think things through. And now this Jupiter comes in and starts tapping them on the shoulder. And Capricorn may be a little bit more impulsive, but I like it. I do not think that's a bad thing at all. I don't.
Good, good. I have to say one thing I'm seeing too for June is that I see people in general feeling more purpose focused, more individually purpose focused, meaning like what is, more in tune with why am I here? And I see that this is going to mean that a lot of focus is shifting in June from relationship, particularly romantic relationship. I'm seeing many people in June wanting to step away from the complications and doubts and questioning and challenges of romantic relationship in general. Not saying that we're just gonna, abandon all relationships, but it's just it feels like we're really homing in on our own inner voice. And sometimes those people pleasing dynamics and the mirroring and the projecting and relationships can really muddy that. So I see this as more of a clarifying time to tap into more inner confidence and focus rather than sort of it's about you or it's about our relationship. I just see it as like, there might be some couple situations where someone's like, I think maybe I want to just me go to the beach for a weekend or just, take a trip on myself or just, have some quiet time. I do see that because it's going to be a time where spirit's inviting us to release stress and for better or worse, relationships can contribute to a lot of stress, but just depending on the dynamic and how we think about it. So that is something I'm seeing for June. A lot of people stepping back, taking a break that way.
I'm going to say now, Cancer happens to be a cardinal sign.
Mhm.
So all of the cardinal signs are going to feel this more than most other people. And the cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Now, I hope it's okay to mention, India, that you're a Libra. And so you're going to see this Jupiter come in your 10th house of career and reputation. The 10th house is very public, so I definitely see your star rising this year. I see you doing more. I see you getting better known. I see maybe you're more on television, more magazine articles. Maybe the podcast goes worldwide.
Ooh, that's
This
exciting. I
this is
like
where
that.
you're going to have new ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. This looks exciting to me. And I think a lot of this is going to be about teaching, educating. Certainly, you may have more clients because Jupiter increases things. You read for clients, but I think it's more than that. It's like there's more clients, and in addition to that, there's this or that.
Well, stay tuned, everybody. That sounds exciting. I definitely want to see what's in that energy. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's going to be exciting for you, and
Mhm.
and mostly because I see it coming from you. Like you're like,
Mhm.
oh, I've thought about doing this, but I never thought I could do it, and now I'm
Right.
doing it, or this or
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, because we're getting more confident on our own purpose paths, I feel in general. And the universe loves that. The universe is like, "Oh, let's go." I saw a quote this morning that was like, "Go ahead and ask for it. The universe doesn't have a budget." It's true. Just like,
Right.
yeah, just be like, "You know what? Let's do this." And the universe is like, "Yes." And then of course in our human selves, we're like, our job is then to deal with our discomfort with change, to deal with our discomfort with our own growth, but that's our part. The universe is like, well, I got the opportunities for you. We're
Yeah.
ready for you.
We're the ones who hold ourselves back.
Yes, absolutely. We are.
Jupiter is international. So this may also be, how do I market myself internationally? There's a whole world out there.
Mhm.
I just, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on your website, but I'm in the process of getting a new website. And I've been in the process for a long, long, long time. Like 10 times longer than anybody else ever needs to do with the website. And this is totally on me, not on the person doing it. This is on me. Um, but anybody who's got a website, that website is out there for the world. And so this may be a time when you're looking at marketing, advertising. How do I get my website better known? How do I get my classes better known? How do I reach the world? And that's what Jupiter is about. Jupiter is a very international planet. So there may be offers India for you to go to Canada, if they're still letting us in here, or Europe, or Asia, or somewhere to lead a class or do a class, or how do we reach out to those other places? And that's exciting. And Libra's going to see this in terms of their work, but Aries is going to see this in terms of their family. If you're in
Mm.
Aries, your family may be getting bigger this year. So that may be buying a bigger home, that may be having a baby or another baby, but it may also be
Getting that $5,000 that you can spend on diapers.
getting that $5,000 check. Yeah. Saying thank you very much. This will help with the new kid. Yeah. It
Not
could
for
be an
very
adult.
long, but it will help.
Yeah, yeah. Kids are expensive.
Oh gosh.
This can be an adult child saying, guess what? I'm getting married. And the
Uh-huh.
family gets bigger with an in law. There's all different kinds of ways to do this, you
Yeah.
know. And because Jupiter is so basically positive, I'm excited about this.
Yeah. And I have to say, with the messages I'm getting here, it's the guides are really emphasizing that the in order to receive this positivity and this great stuff, it's our job is just going to be to let go of heaviness from the past. That's going to be really huge. So I would like to say that with June, with Cancer energy coming in after Gemini season, um there's that energy of the ocean. And I always like to envision the ocean carrying away heaviness, bringing in blessings. And so if you are, thinking about the beach this summer or you're going there, use that energy to, send away gently the things that, and honor too, send away and honor the things from your past that are parts of you, that are parts of your experience that you're ready to send off, and welcome in. Use the waves coming in to welcome in those blessings. And you can do that. I like to use my own breath. It sounds like waves. So you can say, I'm breathing in. This is the waves coming in, bringing me blessings. I'm breathing out. This is the ocean taking away any heaviness, any difficulty of the past, and that will just assist you, support you in receiving all this good stuff that's coming in June.
I didn't even think about that. So
Yeah.
as you were talking, I started to see oceans and the water. And, for the last 7 years, Uranus has been in Taurus. But as you were talking about the waters, I'm thinking of Jupiter and Cancer, which is a water sign. We may be hearing more about the waters. There
Yeah.
may be new discoveries about sea life or underground life.
Yeah.
There may be more underground eruptions. There may be more hurricanes, more flooding, because tsunamis, that's water. But it is also about oceanic scientific expeditions, going
Yeah.
to places we've never been, going to levels we've never been in terms of the depths of the ocean. So I think we're going to see some of that, and I think it's going to be very exciting. There's going to be exciting new discoveries happening.
Yeah, and the way the water connects us as a planet, and water representing flow and emotions and connection is a beautiful metaphor for how we're evolving as a planet. We're learning more about connection. We're learning more about the depths. We're learning more about flow and listening to the wisdom of that and of the ocean. So yeah, definitely.
Love it. Love
Even
it.
if you're not going to the beach, just do lots of those meditations with ocean waves,
Oh,
the
I love that
down.
sound of whoosh whoosh of the
Oh
waves,
yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
But now also remember every month, we have a full moon and we have a new moon. And we have a full moon when the sun is in one sign and the moon is in the sign opposite. That's a full moon. They're at each other's throats. But we also have a new moon, and that's when the sun and the moon come together and sitting right next to each other. And this happens every month. Every month has a new moon, every month has a full moon. And this month in June, we have a full moon on June 11th. And that means the sun is in Gemini and the moon is going to be in Sagittarius. Now, both of these signs love to talk. Both of them love to talk and love to communicate, and they love information. So we may see new information coming out. We may say new proclamations coming out. We may see something new about the tariffs coming out. I'm not sure where we are on the tariffs. They were in, then they were
No
paused.
one is. No one knows.
No one knows. I don't know where we are. Nobody knows. I don't feel so bad. I don't know if we're even supposed to know, but
No.
there may be something coming out because that's a piece of information. That's, this is what we're doing. So there may be something else coming out about that. In in local terms, in personal terms, both of these energies have so much to do with the mind that the mind is super active. We want to learn something. We want to teach something. We want to be a student and a teacher. We want to write a book. We want to write an article. We want to start a podcast. We want to create a blog. We want to share our ideas. We want to exchange information. Now, because they're in conflict, some of this may be a bit argumentative. So around the 11th, usually the effects of the full moon will start up to 3 days before, and I always say about 2 days afterwards. So if it happens on the 11th, that's what, the 8th to the 13th. You may find yourself being a little bit more argumentative. So if you and your brother-in-law don't agree politically, don't go over there. Just don't do it. Because this is where people are talking about their ideas passionately. And the more you disagree with them, the more passionate each one of you is going to get. So
Mm.
just be careful. It's a great energy around this time for any kind of public speaking. If you have to teach a class, if you need to give a talk, if you're going to present something, beautiful energy for that.
Mm.
But it doesn't always have a lot of staying power. So it may be like, oh, I love this. I'm going to sign up for this. Don't sign up for something that's like 3 or 4 years. Because in a month or two, you're going to be like, why did I ever do that? So sign up for something short term, something for a couple of days or something for a one night talk or something.
Mhm.
So it's a wonderful energy, but be careful about how you're expressing yourself. You can accidentally offend somebody else. You may talk about how much you love your cat, and somebody gets offended, like, well, what's wrong with dogs? I have a dog. You're saying I shouldn't have a dog? You may just see people ready to engage with you. And most of the time, I see that in a very positive way. But it doesn't mean there might not be a little bickering or snapping or this kind of thing. So just
Mhm.
be careful about that. Then we're also going to have a new. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something?
No, I'm listening. I'm
Oh,
enjoying.
okay. I was like, I know me. I know I get caught up in astrology, and I know I can just run right over anybody else.
No, I love it.
We also have a new moon, and a new moon happens, like I said, when the sun and the moon are coming together. So we have a new moon late in the month because the sun will be in Cancer later in the month instead of in Gemini. And so we will have the sun in Cancer and the moon is going to be in Capricorn. And I'm sorry, the sun is in Cancer and the moon is in Cancer when they're together. I was thinking full moon. So, but then the moon is going to be small. It's going to be low degree. It's like 3 or 4 degrees. So it's like just putting its big toe into Cancer, but that's all right because they're both still there. So there's more emphasis on all this Cancer energy. At that point, by the 25th, not only will Jupiter be in Cancer, but now we will have the Sun in Cancer and we will have the Moon in Cancer. So I'm going to say from about maybe the 22nd to the 27th, there may be a lot of energy going on there around all the Cancer energies: home, family, food, emotions, all of this. So be ready for that. Remember, every country has a chart. Every country has a birth time, a time when it came into being, and it has its own astrology chart. And the astrology chart of the United States, we were born on July 4th, you know, so we're a Cancer country. Canada is also a Cancer country. This is why for so many years up until recently, we've got along really well. We're the same sign, we understand each other. So in addition to this new moon being an emotional time for us, it may be an emotional time for the country. There may be some announcements, or remember, it's coming close to the birthday of our country. You know, end of June, our birthday is July 4th. So there may be some announcements from our government about stuff going on. I don't know if it's good or bad. We may be thrilled, we may be, but we may react emotionally because that's what this energy is about. But I love it because I notice when the moon is in Cancer, I get in the kitchen and I want to start baking. Now, I'm a terrible cook. I just don't ever depends on me for a meal. But I like to bake cookies, cupcakes, cakes. I just like to get in there and experiment and bake. So it's a wonderful time to cook a special dinner, go out to a fancy restaurant, do something that celebrates you, that celebrates your family, that feeds your spirit and makes you happy. It's also a time when you may be spending more money on your home. You buy a new couch, you need new carpets, you look around for new drapes, You may be a little freer with the credit cards around that time. Just saying, it would probably be something for the home. So it's a generous energy. So you may be like, oh no, let's all go out to eat. It's on me. I'll pick up the check for everybody. And if that's what you want to do, please be sure to contact me so I can be there too, because nothing wrong with going out and celebrating something. So that's
Yeah.
right there at the tail end of the month around the 25th. A lot of Cancerian energy coming up. So be ready for that.
Yeah. And just now I asked for a tarot card for us for the month of June. And what I got is the sun. And the sun is, happiness, health. I always hear, heaven on earth when I see the sun. And so it will be important in the month of June. You know, when spirit talks about that energy of the sun, our part is to choose it actively with our vibration. The sun is a pretty ethereal kind of it's an energy card. So, it can take form in our physical world, but it's mostly about the way you're seeing the world. It's like, your point of view. Are you seeing the blessings? Are you seeing the great things? So there's a lot of emphasis in what I'm getting for June around uh, checking your lens, making sure your lens is clean and clear, the way you're looking at things, making sure that it's focused the way you want it to be focused, because that's going to be the key to accessing a lot of this good energy. As we do evolve more as a planet, the universe is requiring us to participate more and more in which reality we want to be a part of. And you already can see this in our country. There are some of us living in one reality, some of us living in another reality. And this will become more and more the case. And your job is just to, what is my own lens? What is my perspective? How am I seeing things? And just be aware that that may be challenged at times, but I see that when you're really choosing your vibrational point of view, you're receiving a lot of rewards in June and a lot of newness. I'm just getting so much newness.
Remember, We also have June 20th is the summer solstice.
Oh, yeah.
So
Mhm.
the summer solstice is the longest day of the year, the shortest night. And so it's sort of like the kickoff for summer and the kickoff to what we would call abundance, prosperity. Think of the fruits of summer and the flowers of summer and things like this coming in and how positive that is. And you want that bounty to come in the summer. So if you do any ceremony work, it's a good time to do some ceremony work around June 20th to kind of welcome in the summer solstice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the daylight coming in.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. I'm so excited to dive into the month ahead now. This is going to be a good one.
It's
And
going to be a good one
yeah, and I hope
and
everyone
exciting. A
listens.
lot going on.
Yes. And please update us on how you're experiencing these energies and let Susan and I know if you have any questions and if you would like to for us to answer anything next month when we dive in to Cancer's energy in July. That'll be fun too. So have a wonderful month ahead.
I know I mentioned most of the signs and how Jupiter's going to affect them. But if for
Mhm.
any reason I didn't mention your sign, it was an oversight. I wasn't, remember, I don't want anybody to get sensitive. It was an oversight. And if I did not mention your sign, just go to my website. You can email me through my website and ask me what it means for your particular sign or whatever if I didn't get to them. And if you want to know what's going on with your sign for the month of June, go to my website, exploreastrology.com, and I put out free predictions for every sign every month. So by June 1st, yours will be on there, and you can go in and get like a heads up as to what to expect in the coming month.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan. This was wonderful. See you next month.
Okay, bye.